In a lab, an egg yolk gets a mystery injection of green goo. 1 second later, a perfect copy squirts out of the first yolk. Meanwhile, on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, aging legend Elisabeth is awarded her star. Crowds worship her that first year, but they dwindle. The star cracks, no one repairs it. Now middle-aged job offers dry up, so she ends up hosting an aerobics show. One day the women's bathroom's broken, so she sneaks into the men's. Hiding in a stall, she overhears the network, President Harvey, ranting on the phone. He's peeing, mid-call, mocking her age and craving someone fresh. Elisabeth emerges, shaken, and stares at herself in the mirror. At lunch, Harvey fires her, but makes it vague, spineless as always. Driving home, Elisabeth sees her, its face being torn from a billboard, and crashes hard. At the hospital, the doctor says she's perfectly fine, then notices the date and chirps, "Happy birthday," Elisabeth snaps. After he leaves, a nurse appears, examines her spine, and calls her the perfect candidate. He hands her a jacket. Once outside, she finds a package in the pocket. A flash drive labeled the substance and a note, "It changed my life." Then, Fred, a flirty school friend, appears. He says she hasn't aged a day, gives her his number, and walks away. At home, Elisabeth watches the drive. An ad for the substance, a product that lets users shift into a younger body every 7 days. Skeptical, she tosses it. That night she drinks alone, gets sick, throws a snow globe at a poster of her younger self, then digs the drive out of the trash and calls the number. A robotic voice gives her an address and hangs up. The next day she sees a casting ad for the next Elisabeth and screams. Her mail holds a black envelope with a card 503. She heads to the sketchy address, enters a half-sized door and follows a dim hallway to a vault of boxes. She opens 503 and finds a kit. At home, she reads the instructions. Activate once, stabilize daily, switch bodies weekly, and remember, you are one. Staring into the mirror, she injects the green liquid. At first, nothing, then agony. Her body convulses, pupils split, her spine writhes. A slit opens down her back, and out steps her young, flawless. She stares into the mirror, blue eyes now, but her original green ones shimmer deep beneath. She throws up green goo, feeds the old body with food from the kit. Next morning, the new Elisabeth hears screeching, her nose bleeds. Stabilize time. She extracts spine fluid from her old body, injects it into the new one. Bleeding stops. She shops, auditions, calls herself Sue. Harvey's dazzled. She agrees to the job, but only every other week, claiming she's caring for her sick mother. Harvey's desperate enough to say yes. Sue thrives. New clothes, new spotlight. But Elisabeth stays collapsed in the bathroom. Sue always stabilizes, but never moves the old body. After a week, Sue triggers the swap. The two bodies connect, blood flows, and Sue collapses. Elisabeth wakes up aching, bent, and bored. She endures the dull week, stabilizes daily, and gets her refill envelope. Back as Sue, she breaks a bathroom wall, builds a hideout, stores the old body and poster inside. Now it's her world. She hosts a show, flaunts her body, parties hard, brings home a guy, but the screeching returns. Nosebleed, her time's up. Instead of swapping, she steals more fluid. It works. The night continues. In a dream, her body unzips and spills guts when undressed. She wakes up, time to swap. Elisabeth returns to chaos. Trash, a guy's note, and horrifyingly an aged patch on her hand. She tries to wash it off. No luck. She calls the number. The voice says it's irreversible and reminds her Sue isn't separate. Elisabeth cleans while watching Sue on TV. The glamour enrages her. She turns it off. The neighbor knocks. She hides. Later, she hears something say Sue in the alley and flees. In a diner, a stranger with a birthmark, just like the nurses, says, 7 days feel long, don't they? He drops a wallet. A card reads 207. That was his younger self. He explains, you forget the old body matters. The young one devours you. Elisabeth bolts. Outside her place, the bike guy yells at her. Feeling ugly, she calls Fred. A date's set. She preps, even copies Sue's makeup. But on her way out, she sees the billboard and crashes emotionally. She changes her look to match her age, but the pain lingers. Again, she breaks down in the bathroom. In the end, she cancels the date and ignores Fred's texts. While Sue's filming, she feels a bulge, panics. Nothing's there until footage shows it. She flees to her dressing room, finds the lump again, pushes it to her stomach, and pulls out a chicken leg from her belly button. During the next swap, Sue finds leftover junk food. Furious, she calls the voice, ranting that Elisabeth just eats and watches TV. The voice calmly repeats, there is no she. Later, Sue's told her show's cancelled, but then Harvey says she's hosting the New Year's special. She accepts and keeps draining Elisabeth daily, her back's now oozing. Elisabeth returns to find her body ruined. Furious, she calls the number again. The voice offers to cancel Sue permanently. She hesitates, remembers the success, and declines, but her legs barely work. She cooks, listens to Sue mocking her on TV, and throws food in rage. Before switching, she screams at the mirror, begging Sue to behave. Sue returns to her trashed apartment. Furious, she vows revenge and hoards stabilizer. 3 months later, Sue rules Billboard's fame. Another man, but the secret room is foul. She extracts green-black fluid. Dizzy, she calls the voice that supplies dry. It needs regeneration. She must swap, but she refuses. Her body rebels, nosebleed, collapse, crawling. She swaps. The man hears the commotion. Elisabeth locks him out. In the mirror, she sees a monstrous reflection. When he knocks, she yells for him to leave. Her body barely works. She cancels the whole program. Next morning, final envelope. 1 black syringe. Outside, she threatens her neighbor back home. She opens the box. 1 last shot. A voice warns her no going back. She hesitates, thinking of Sue's big show, and gives CPR. Sue bleeds. Elisabeth uses the change kit. It works, but this time Elisabeth stays awake too. The women stare at each other. Sue sees the syringe, panics. She attacks. Elisabeth fights back. It's brutal. Glass, mirrors, blood, screams. Eventually, Sue beats Elisabeth to death, then collapses in shock. Still, the show must go on. Sue hits the station. In makeup, her tooth falls, then another. Panic in the elevator. Her nails peel, her ear drops. She hides it. At home, she finds the old activator and injects again. More agony. Her back rips. But what emerges is wrong. A deformed creature with Elisabeth's face on its back. It's monster Elisa Sue. She dresses up, tapes her old poster into a mask, wears lipstick, heads to the show. In her mind, applause. In reality, silence. Lights go up. She stumbles to the mic. Only gibberish comes out. Her mask falls. She vomits organs. Horror. A man screams monster. Others pile on, beating her. One swings a bat head off, but she grows it back. Her arm falls. Blood soaks everyone. They slip. They panic. Elisa Sue escapes. Running down the street, she explodes. The only thing that survives is Elisabeth's face. It crawls to her star on the Walk of Fame, smiles faintly and melts. The next morning, a janitor scrubs the sidewalk clean.